Hey, freshman, what's up? I'm going to do a short video here about the essay that I had you read. Um, your response is not going to be due on Monday. It's going to be on Tuesday. We're still going to take an exam on Monday, though. But I'm going to give you till Tuesday to do this essay. To complete it, you should be working on it right now, actually. But because I was late getting this video up, I decided to push back the due date till Tuesday. So what you're going to do as you look through this essay is you're looking for, one, you're looking for reasons that people think the Constitution is racist or pro-slavery. Two, why it actually might not be racist or pro-slavery in this essay, not in outside reading. And then your third paragraph is about what you think about those arguments based on this essay and your understanding of the Constitution. Is it pushing a pro-slavery or a racist view or not? So here in paragraph 2, you have a discussion of the 3/5 clause. Now, was the 3/5 clause, is that used by people who think the Constitution is racist to say that it is racist? Well, the 3/5 clause seems to be saying that a black American is only 3/5 of a person. Is that what that clause is really in the Constitution for? To say that, like the essay says here, is it to say that a black person is only 60% of a white person? Is that what it's actually trying to say? Or is it trying to affect the way the states are represented in the government? Remember, the southern states wanted blacks to be represented as 100% of a person, 5/5 of a person, a whole person, because they wanted more representation in the Congress. Well, would that have made the country more pro-slave or more anti-slave? And is the fact that the 3/5 compromise exists in the Constitution something that makes it pro-slavery or anti-slavery? Is it something that makes it racist or not racist? Is it both? Remember, people like William Lord Garrison were not into they were not hearing any kind of compromise. So do you take that line that any kind of compromise is wrong? So you'll have to think about that. But the question there is, explain why people think, for instance, the 3/5 clause makes the Constitution racist or pro-slavery. So that would be one thing for you to explain in your first paragraph. Another thing for you to explain in your first paragraph is the idea that only white males who own property could vote. Mr. Kaiser maybe has actually said something like that in history class. Well, this essay corrects me and says, contrary to a popular misconception, the Constitution also does not say that white males who own property were the only people who could vote. I'm in paragraph 4. It actually allows the states to determine who will vote. And a little known fact in American history is that black citizens were voting in as many as 10 states when the Constitution was ratified. They left that up to the states to decide who could vote. And it says here, Georgia and South Carolina and Virginia only let whites vote. So did the Constitution really create a situation where blacks couldn't vote? Well, people might think so, and you need to explain why they would think that. And then you need to come back and explain in your paragraph 2 why actually there's another argument to be made that the Constitution is not racist. And it did create the Constitution did create a system. This is not in this part of the essay that you read because I had to cut it down so it was easier for you to read. But the Constitution did create a system. This could be something to come back and talk about in paragraph 2. The Constitution did create a system where we could amend the Constitution, and in the 13th Amendment, we gave the vote to everybody. Okay? So, in that way, the Constitution ended up creating a situation where blacks would eventually be given the vote. That would be a reason that it is not, and you need to be able to explain that in paragraph 2. Remember, paragraph 1 is reasons that the Constitution is considered slavery or pro-slavery or racist, and then paragraph 2 is you're saying, yeah, but actually, and then you're giving counterexamples and explaining why it might not be. Here, after where it says slavery and Constitution, it's going into the fact that the Constitution does not actually condone slavery. It doesn't even mention it. The people who founded the country obviously had to deal with creating a compromise where southern states would actually sign the Constitution. But they didn't want to put slavery in so that the Constitution would seem to be condoning it as an institution, as though it might be just. Okay. It doesn't. Here I am in about paragraph 8 or 9. Because the Constitution does not explicitly recognize slavery and does not therefore admit that slaves were property, the Constitution doesn't say that. It just says other persons. It doesn't say slaves. It doesn't say people who are other people's property. It allows for the interpretation that all the protections in the Constitution might be given to black people as well. And it does call them other persons. It does call them people. It doesn't call them slaves. It doesn't call them property. It calls them persons. Then it talks about how the Constitution failed to abolish slavery. It is true that the Constitution of 1787 failed to abolish slavery, so that would be a reason that it might be interpreted as pro-slavery. But it created a system where slavery could be limited. It said that no law against the slave trade could be passed for 20 years. Well, the very first day, January 1st of that year, that the slave trade, not slavery, but the slave trade could be abolished, Congress abolished it. So Congress did create a system where the slave trade could be gotten rid of, and it was. It did create a system where slavery could eventually be outlawed, and it was. It didn't say that blacks were property. It didn't even call them slaves. It actually called them persons. So you want to go through reasons in paragraph 1 that people think the Constitution is racist or pro-slavery. Then in paragraph 2, you want to give your reasons. I'm sorry, not your reasons, but balancing reasons that it might not be pro-slavery or racist. Then in paragraph 3, give your conclusion. Do you think that the examples in the argument make the case that the Constitution is racist, or did the Constitution make a way to get rid of slavery and institutional racism in that sense? If so, how? You will get full credit on this essay if in each of these paragraphs you are specific, you use the essay that I gave you, and you give reasons for what you think. Be specific, use the text, and back up what you say. That's how to get full credit. It says if you're welcome to work on this assignment with a classmate, but don't use outside sources. So don't get outside sources and bring into this. I want you to do your own thinking. But if you want to ask a classmate what they think and how they're figuring out their way through this assignment, if you're confused, you're welcome to do that. You can also ask me on Monday. You will have till Tuesday to get this thing done. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.